Talking about when we look at the global health security as a field of practice, that we've seen disagreements emerge from two key groups. Firstly, academics, and secondly then a small number of member states that prior to the Ebola outbreak were rather vocal in their opposition to the World Health Organization's use of global health security. And so in more recent years what we've seen is a reinvigoration of interest in global health security again post-Ebola, and the question really is now is how sustainable is this going to be, and are we going to see some of the concerns that were previously raised be raised again? And the impact that that might then have. The academic communities have had three main sort of lines or trajectories of critique. First of all being that this is largely about the West against the rest, protecting Western high-income country interests against the diseases that are seen to come from the global South. The second line of critique is that it distorts the global health agenda, and that in prioritising some or identifying some issues as health threats, it then results in a disproportionate amount of investment in addressing those, neglecting other diseases and health issues that actually may result in a larger loss of life over time. Another key concern has been around the actors that it introduces, the concept of health security and the actors that it introduces, and particularly their security sector personnel, so defence and military actors. So there's been a range of concerns that have been identified by the academic community, and then along member states they've also raised their own concerns, and in particular that they didn't really sort of agree prior to the WHO's adoption of this language on its use, and that they haven't really had consensus about what it applies to. And we've seen that their concerns manifest then in a series of requests for WHO to take a step back. And certainly between 2008 and 2013, the WHO was seen to do that. It actually started to remove all language around health security from its documentation. And then Ebola occurred and things have changed again. I think there's a lot of work to be done with countries and assuring governments that this is not just about protecting high-income country interests. They need to be able to see that it's going to benefit them themselves and their people. And that then requires, I think one of the big pieces of work to help build that trust at the moment now is looking at the investment strategies that we're going to have with regards to strengthening health systems. So we've got the frameworks, we've got the gap analyses which are being done at the moment, but it's really the next step then as to what happens with all of that information and data, and are we going to be able to then convert that into investment plans for countries that don't have advanced healthcare systems so they can develop the capacities that they need to help protect their own people as well.